Thank you, Craig and Janelle. Wonderful. So we have one more before the break. So at this time, I would like to welcome the Atlantic Honourees, Robert Anderson and Jill Ebbett.
It's gonna stay, remember?
No. Oh, I think so.
I can't, yeah, do just go to here.
Gentlemen. Okay, so I'd like to start with introducing ourselves. I'm Robert Anderson and Jill Ebbett. We're going to give you a tour of our farm and our family and our business, Calvin D. Anderson & Son Incorporated.
So we're a mixed farm operation that consists of potatoes, grains, oil seeds, and wood products. Throughout our presentation, we're going to take you through our journey. Robert's being raised on a farm his entire life, and mine coming into the farm from a very limited farming background.
So this is where it all started. My father returned home from Toronto to save the family farm from being sold. One of the first things he did was sold his MG Roadster to buy the first tractor the farm had ever seen, and he never looked back. My father continues to play an active role with my mother on the farm. He started with only 200 acres of unmanaged land and no equipment, which has given me a great base today with what he's done to build it to where we are. In this picture of my parents and my 5 sisters, along with their families and mine. My sisters all worked on the farm growing up, from picking rocks, picking potatoes, roguing, cutting seed, working on the harvester, putting in hay, feeding cows, and I'm forever grateful for everything my family has done to give us the base. After high school, I traveled a year in Europe and lived in Germany for a year. After returning home, I attended Dalhousie Ag College for 1 year. I then knew I wanted to start my career in farming. In spring of 2001, I began chasing another dream. She has become my wife, my best friend, and my soulmate. These are some of the groups I'm currently involved in: the Agriculture Alliance, the Progressive Conservative Party of Carleton North, the McCain Potato Initiative Technology Group, Soil and Crop, and, like most of us, the Mature Club here.
We were both raised in the Upper St. John River Valley, and this beautiful community with its winding river and very many prosperous businesses is where we are proud to call our home. After graduating from high school, I attended the University of New Brunswick in Fredericton, where I hope to see you all next year. And immediately after, I got my business degree, and immediately after I started working for McCain Foods. So after 19 years with McCain, I'm still there after various maternity leaves. I'm now the customer service manager for our Canadian and export business. I love my job at McCain, and I feel really strongly that my experiences at McCain really help on the farm and vice versa. So I'm very grateful for that. I also do all the paperwork for the farm, and I support Robert in any way that I can, from staffing challenges and opportunities, recognition, business straight talk, and expanding our business through the investment of innovation and technology.
This is our family. We have 4 wonderful, wild, smart, and crazy girls. We are blessed to have 4 healthy children, and they are a huge part of what makes our lives so incredible. We feel lucky to bring them up in a family lifestyle and hope someday that if they choose to do so, they have the opportunity to farm.
After having Olivia, our oldest, we quickly recognized that our work and life balance needed to change if we wanted to expand our family, which we did, because we later had Catherine, then Geneva, and Charlotte. So we saw that opportunity, how we were going to change how we were managing the farm to make sure that we could have a fulfilling career, but also keep our family as our top priority always. And I feel really strongly that it's our job to make sure that farming is seen as an attractive career, and not only for our own children, but for anyone who's interested.
Our focus has become leveraging technology and people. The use of technology to eliminate work that people no longer want to do, and with finding the right people, setting clear expectations, and when they do the job right, to compliment them and let them know how much we appreciate it. Our main business is potatoes. We start by purchasing Elite 1 and Elite 2 seed potatoes for the production of our own crops. We cut and treat all our seed ourselves, and planting is one of the most important steps in the process. You can make many mistakes throughout the season, but this is one step that has to be as close to perfection as possible. My grandfather was a gentle, quiet man, and as one day during my mad races in planting, he placed his hand on my shoulder and whispered to me, "You have all year to mess up, young fella. Don't start today." Early June begins the management of our potato crop with an intense foliar program. Late June, we begin cultivating our fields. Spraying is a process that lasts all summer, from ground crack until harvest. And this is critical in keeping our product clear of virus and disease, which helps ensure that our product will have good storability. Being at a higher elevation than the river, approximately 400 meters above sea level, our growing season is a little shorter than those at the St. John River. We have a very short window to ensure our crops come out of the ground and into storage undamaged by the elements of heat, frost, water, and rocks. We got a hard reminder this fall of that as winter set in very early.
In 2005, as our land base grew, we saw an opportunity to diversify our crop portfolio and began growing soybeans, canola, grains, and various grasses. This allows us to fully utilize our tillable acreage and gives us control of all facets of soil health and conservation practices. Soybeans have since become our preferred cash crop, generally exceeding 1 ton to the acre. Following a potato crop, that means we don't have to fertilize to reach this yield. Also, where we do not plow the ground after the beans, this not only saves us tractor hours, fuel, and labor, but also helps with the organic matter, which is a huge factor in growing a high-quality crop of potatoes while conserving soil health.
And soil health and the environment are two of the most important fundamentals on our farm. With various crop rotations, terracing, waterways, conservation areas, and targeted drain tile all contribute to scenes like this one lasting for generations to come. Our farm has approximately 3,500 acres of land, with about 2,700 being of woodland. We're always on the look for more ground. Forestry operations allows us to clear new land for fields. Any ground that is not suitable for farmland, we allow it to natural reforestation, or we plant spruce seedlings. And since 1990, we've planted close to 1.5 million trees. In this picture on the left, you'll see my farm in the early days when we started. Since then, on the picture on the right, you can see some of the changes that we have made. And the slides to follow are all contributors to that growth.
So people is huge for us, and I'm a people person, so being around people and having meaningful relationships is very important to me. My management style is that I choose to trust everyone, and in order to do that, you have to be okay with addressing issues, which I am. And we are very blessed to have a lot of wonderful people working with us on the farm. So just to tell you a few stories about a few of them. So Richard, up here on the top left-hand corner, the two pictures, he treats our business like it's his own, and it's really amazing to watch him. Doug, down up top right-hand side, we call Super Doug because whatever you ask of him, he always says super. We try to take every opportunity to let them know how much we appreciate what they do for our family and for our business. So little things like surprise gift cards or taking them out for dinner or breakfast really do make a difference, and we enjoy doing it. In the bottom left-hand corner is Esther. So she's been with us for 10 years. She's always there whenever we need her. Charlotte in the top far right hand corner is one of the hardest working people you'll ever meet. And a bonus, she's hilarious. You never know what she's going to say.
When developing new land, we follow best management practices to ensure our crops will be successful. This starts with harvesting all marketable timber, followed by stump and debris removal. We land level as much of the steep slopes as possible by digging basements and filling them with the field rocks that we have picked with our customized rock picker. We then return the sub and topsoil. Then we also install drain tile as needed, terrace and waterways to help control the water runoff and keep the soil where we want it. After making 2 passes with our rock picker, the soil is then We then soil sample, ground is limed to bring to where we need it, seeded with oats and underseeded in preparation for the potato crop to be planted.
Water management on top of the ground is as important as water under the ground. So wet holes in the fields can create many problems, from delayed planting, spraying, harvesting, and storage problems. The purchase of an excavator allows us to place the tile exactly where the water is and drain it to the quickest outlet. I get many teachings about the importance of water management in our weekly family farm tours.
The second thing my father did when he returned home was constructed one, if not the first terrace in the province. It was so new, it was televised. Terraces, waterways, and contour farming all continue to be an important foundation of our farm.
So farming in the upper end of the Appalachians, we have a lot of hillsides and rolling land, which is great for sliding in the wintertime, but it can be a challenge for farming. So one of the things we do to help protect the land is to only plow uphill, and this keeps the soil moving in the right direction and maintains consistent soil depth across our fields. We also plow as late in the season as possible to prevent erosion from the elements of wind and water before freeze up. Investment in storage capacity and capability was necessary to allow us to increase our production and to put out the highest quality product. Recent purchases of new sizing equipment and potato planter are to help us be at the forefront, leading new ideas that will increase yields and drive out unnecessary costs. The new planter will help increase plant stand and better spacing to produce a more evenly sized seed. The sizer will size the seed more accurately.
The evolution of the potato storage has come a long way, from the time of my grandfather storing potatoes in the basement of his house, to my father using flat cement floors with minimal air movement, to now perforated tubes, multi-vented floors with large fans moving large volumes of air through the pile. This allows us to store potatoes longer with better quality. With new computerized systems, it allows us to control the temperature and moisture with minimal maintenance. The next step is for me to be able to check into my potato houses and make any changes from my smartphone from anywhere in the world.
The upgrade to a shaker sizer is an idea that Robert and a few forward-thinking growers thought would be a worthwhile investment. In an effort to improve yields, we started sizing more accurately and spacing accordingly at planting. The new sorting equipment will provide high quality and innovative products for both our local and US-based customers. Robert's always looking for opportunities to improve the yield, his own yields, but the yields of his customers as well. So watching this new grading line come to life has been really fun to watch. Whoops, wrong button. Being a fourth generation elite seed potato grower, a quality product is the foundation of our business. We provide our customers with only the best quality seed products. Our high elevation and isolation from the heart of the potato belt gives us an advantage of growing high class, clean seed.
We plant marginal land and some headlands that border forested areas with wildlife type forages. We enjoy the outdoors, hunting, and truly appreciate wildlife on our farm. Sometimes they even join us for supper instead of being for supper, as you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, Molly the moose. And here's why we do it. Our farm is a family business, and that means that everyone gets involved. Our girls always love to come to the farm. They love the people, and most of all, they love to get dirty. One of our traditions is our Sunday morning family farm tours, where we all hop in the truck with no seatbelts, and we take a ride around the farm. So this is really important because it gives the girls and I an opportunity to see the progress of the farm crops in the landscapes, and sometimes if we're lucky, we get to see wildlife.
We all work very hard and enjoy our free time. As a family, we all enjoy being together. Our family time is very important to all of us. We love being outside, sliding, swimming, bowling, dancing, gardening, and anything that involves ice cream. So here's some pictures of us on vacation, and as all of you know, it can be a challenge to find the time, but we always make it a priority to find some time to take as a family for vacation in the summer and the winter as well.
So I guess in closing, we want to thank all of you. We've really enjoyed this experience. Robert is very passionate about farming, and I'm also very passionate about my family and having a career that's fulfilling. So we really appreciate this opportunity to share with all of you what means so much to us. And I just love the positive energy of this group, of the OYF group, and I've really enjoyed getting to know all the nominees. You're all amazing. So that's just been really fulfilling for me.
We'd like to extend a big thank you to the OYF Farmers Association for this opportunity. I'd also like to thank my wife, my father, my mother, my sisters, and my children for all supporting me in a career that I love so much. Thank you. Just in case.
Thank you, Robert and Jill. We are ahead of schedule a little bit, so hopefully we can have many questions. Unless they look at me with the wink and the nose tap, then I'll get out the big hook. Okay.
Good morning, Ted Smith from Ontario. I was going to ask you originally how many days per year or time it took you to rake your forests, as recommended by President Trump, but I think I know the answer. So I wondered, are there restrictions on what you can do in terms of your land clearing? I know in my part of the country sometimes that's frowned upon, and I just wondered if there are restrictions or regulations you have to follow regarding that.
For land clearing?
Yes.
No. We're really fortunate in New Brunswick that we don't have a lot of regulations. We don't have enough ground to do what we're doing, so the government is starting to back and support us on clearing more land. They're investing money into it, so we're knocking down trees and clearing all the time.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Harker from BC. My question is, what percentage of your seed products stay in Canada and what % do you export?
Some of that depends on the year, but I would say we're probably about 75 to 80% would stay locally, all within maybe an hour drive from our farm. You know, we supply a lot of McCain growers in our area and table stock growers in the area. When I return home, we'll probably start shipping to Florida to supply up and down the seaboard as planting starts in the next month or so in Florida and follows up through North Carolina, Virginia, New York State.
Doug Cranston, Ontario. Since we started farming in the early 80s, late 70s, we've seen massive changes in our area in climate change. How does that affect you? Because I know the East Coast is getting hit hard this year.
Yes, it's a challenge. Like in the Appalachians, we have lots of hills and valleys, and from where we are, we're on top of a hill. You can almost see a full 360 panoramic view. You can see the weather coming, and the hills change that. As people from BC, and I'm sure close to Alberta, you'll see the moisture come over the hill and it'll turn. So if you're in the right spot, climate change might not affect you this year. You might get enough rain. But the biggest thing we're doing on our farm is rotation. Rotation and looking after your soils will help sustain the farm throughout a lifetime. You know, if my grandfather told me one time, if you haven't got your soil, you haven't got anything. You need to look after it. Good. Don't take your time.
Don't be shy.
Everyone wants a break.
Okay. Going once, going twice. So long. Thank you, guys.